Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So I thought I would do a Friday review of the racing at Cheltenham and look at my three NAP selections for tomorrow for the free RTR NAP comp. So first of all, I'll do the review and then we'll get on to my selections in a bit. The first race I want to talk about was the first race at Cheltenham, won by top-rated Art Approval, which was a great result for the ratings. Also, if you'd listened to my reviews previously, you'd have heard me talk favourably about Art Approval and Captain Morgs, the two other 5-year-olds who finished in the front four behind Guard Your Dreams. As you know, if I think the angle was right about the winner, I look for something in behind. So, like I did with Captain Morgs and Art Approval for Guard Your Dreams, I highlighted Art Approval here. So I'm looking in behind him. What caught my eye in behind? And the one that really caught my eye was my Bobby Dazzler, who finished fourth. Although he has a couple of wins over 2 mile. Was they over 2 mile? I think they were. Let me just double check. Over 2 mile 4 and 2 mile 4. I think he needs further now. Go back and watch his race today. He was outpaced quite a long way out. Then he actually bumped into, I think it was Subcontinent, who made a mistake at the second last and actually fell. He was only 8th jump in the last, and he really finished strongly up the hill. And just the whole run suggested to me that in this handicap company, in a big field like this, he needs further. So I'll be very interested to see him step up in trip, maybe to 3 mile in the very near future. So he was my one out of the 110 that I thought was very interesting, my Bobby Dazzler. The second race I want to talk about is the Glen Farkles cross-country chase. Normally I think the cross-country races I might spot maybe one. I thought there was 3 or 4 here that could have gone down as horses to be interested in. Back on the Lash, I thought he actually won it quite convincingly in the end, although he didn't beat Singing Banjo by far. I thought the jockey, about half a mile from home, or maybe 6 furlongs from home, thought I'm going to win this quite nicely, and just didn't quite push him out as strongly as I thought he was going to. But the two I really want to take out of this race, the first one was fairly obvious. Plan of Attack. He jumped atrociously, to be honest. Kept getting himself behind, but still finished a close fourth. That experience over the fences, over the course, and for the jockey on Plan of Attack, I really think will help him. And it could well be that they switch from the Kim Muir, which he's run in the last 2 years, to the cross-country chase. If they don't, and they do go back to regulation races over the normal fences, I think the way he's ran here suggests that he's shown a bit more life. You know, his last few efforts had been disappointing after he fell in the Kim Muir this year. So he's just one to keep an eye on. They might find a race for him. They might not do too much again and come back for the Kim Muir. If they come back here for another spin round, I'd be very interested in him. And then obviously the final, the finals off level weights. Yeah, the finals off level weights, so it won't matter whether he goes and wins his next one or not. The second horse I want to talk about in this race, Hottest Corner. I was delighted with that. I'm really keen on him for the Welsh National. As I've mentioned in a previous video, he's never had conditions like the Welsh National since the Welsh National. He's never had a trip, heavy going, soft heavy going over fences. He's had maybe 2 of the 3. He had 3 mile over on heavy, but it was over hurdles. 3 mile isn't really far enough for Potter's Corner anyway. This was closer, 3 mile 6. He got the trip. Didn't have the ground though. Wouldn't have wanted the good ground. He wanted the soft ground. When he goes back over fences, and you know, after finishing 6th, he might drop a couple of pound here. If he drops 2 pound, I think that'll make him 7 lower than when he won it 2 years ago. That for me would be a great bet. in the Welsh National if he's aimed at that, which I hope he is. The final race I want to talk about, and I actually got two from this race, was the final race on the card, won by McAlpine very impressively. I thought he travelled really well and got the job done late on. Two horses that I thought were very, very interesting. City Derby for Fergal O'Brien and Paddy Brennan. He's finished fourth after going so far wide. He was the widest of all the whole way, and it was the amount of ground he must have given away to some of the other horses. I'd love to be able to calculate it properly, but it's going to be a long way. Despite that, coming to the second last, he actually travelled into it around the outside, moved into it quite nicely, then got swamped a little bit. A couple of them quickened past him before he did battle on to hang on for fourth, after it looked like at one point that he'd gone from travelling to finding nothing and going to get run out of a place as well. I do think he could be interesting. He's obviously lightly raced. I think he's still improving. I think if he gets a slightly more economical ride in terms of the actual distance he covers, I think he's one that can certainly win off the current mark. The other horse that I thought was very interested in this race was Brawson. Brian Hughes jumped out, and they were relatively near the back, but they were at the back, and he was given an exaggerated hold-up ride. I don't know whether he thought he was on something that could just weave through and pick them all off comfortably. If he was, he's got it slightly wrong. He's finished 7th, but he was so far back. And then when they came around into the bend, he didn't get the clearest of runs. And just as they were all quickening, he just got caught on heels, and that meant he wasn't able to get close enough. He's finished 7th, never near a 7th. He can definitely win off his current mark. He won't go up in the handicap for his seventh place. Look out for him in another race like this. He was. I really think he should have placed. I think Brian Hughes thought he was on something significantly better handicap than he suggested he was at the end, but I do think he's well handicapped, and I think he can win a similar race like this very soon. So, on to tomorrow. I've submitted my naps for the NAP competition already, but I do want to talk about them. I'm only going to talk about those 3 races because obviously you will see the ratings, and if you're not a premium member, it's a bit unfair of me to go through all the races and show you all the premium ratings when people are subscribed to them. So I will only show you the 3 that I've selected a horse in. The first race is the Paddy Power Gold Cup, so if you are watching this video, you're getting the Paddy Power Gold Cup ratings. And the horse I like, as you know, is Spirit the Games. He is well handicapped. He finished 2nd in this race last year. He's been around Cheltenham so many times, he knows it like the back of his hand, or the back of his hoof, if we're going to go for Dano horse route. Yes, I get they've got the favourite, or was the favourite. I think Our Dancer's now favourite. They had the anti-pose favourite and top-rated Protector at the team. But Spirit of the Games is one that I think will get. I'd be disappointed if he doesn't mind the ground, if he doesn't finish in the top 5. I really think he's that solid as a selection. Moving on, I won't dally too much on Spirit of the Games because I've done a preview on him already. Moving on to my nap of the day is Dragon Bones. Why do I like Dragon Bones? I've written a few things down here. She's top rated. She actually had 2 entries this week. She was also entered in a Grade 2 that was run today. She is trained by Ian Williams, who won this 3 years ago with First Assignment. And I thought her effort last time out was very good. When she was 2nd to Bardenstown Lad, they quickened away after the last from the horse who was in 3rd. If you took out the winner, you would have been saying Dragon Bones was very, very impressive, and you would have probably been surprised that she was running in a handicap and not the graded race this week. She didn't win, which meant her handicap mark wasn't adjusted too much, and she's able to get in this handicap off a nice weight, and I think she'll take all the beating here, to be honest. I expect them to drop her out the back. Ballymillsy probably goes forward. Optimus Prime will probably go forward, and Kansas City Chief won't be too far away. And Dragon Bones will be weighted out the back, and hopefully she can pick them all off. Turning into the straight, I'd like to see her just maybe moving into about third. I don't actually want to see her hitting the front until the last. If she can jump the last, jumping alongside the leader, I think she'll quicken away up the hill and win nicely. So my third best is a horse called Benson. If you received my Horses to Follow PDF, you'd have got a bonus horse for my Horses to Follow after we heard that Night Edition had sadly passed away, and Benson was the horse. When Benson was running last season, he was winning over 2 mile, and then he tried a race at Ascot over 2 mile again. And if you watch that race, it was a real surprise at how he's finished fourth. He was miles behind, and he's absolutely motored at the finish, suggesting he needs to step up and trip. That's what I've been waiting for. The step up and trip was. I was kind of hoping it was going to be his second run. That's my only concern here. Is he fully wound up for this? He's rated 136, so I think they will go for it. And hopefully get him into better races later on in the season, rather than holding him back here and getting him fit for something in December. So if he's fully fit and he goes for it, I think he will run a really big race here, and hopefully that trip, the step up and trip, really will suit him. So there's some thoughts for the last few days, for yesterday and today. Fingers crossed we can have some winners, and hopefully I've highlighted a few subsequent winners with those 5 that I mentioned earlier.